Welcome kapatid to the second episode of our brand new series called What to Expect in Law School. If you have been enjoying this new series so far, I need you to pause this video and hit the like button below. A little appreciation really helps me and the Lex in Motion team with our motivation. We're working on the bigger, broader, and illustrated lectures aside from what you're seeing here. We're making progress and I'm really excited to make it all work for you now and in the future. With that being said, last week we talked about Criminal Law 1 or the study of criminal liability, how it's incurred and how it's punished, and how criminal liability is extinguished. Criminal law is usually given on the third Sunday of the bar and it covers two subjects, Criminal Law 1 and Criminal Law 2. Criminal Law 2 is also based mostly on the revised penal code and other special laws. It is taken on the second semester of your freshman year. Prerequisite syempre kapatid na pumasa ka muna ng Criminal Law 1. In this episode, I'll be sharing with you how the subject is taught, the recommended books and materials you need to study, the framework of how to learn the subject, and all of the concepts you will need to master now. And all of the concepts you will need to master now and in the future for your criminal law review. Coming right up, this episode is brought to you by the Lex in Motion merch store, where the perks and perils of being a law student through graphic tees and statement shirts help us help others more now and in the future. Even better, make a direct donation to the charities we support. Both links in the description below. Hi, my name is Lex and welcome to Lex in Motion. In this channel, I'll be helping you build your competence, confidence, and capability in law school. Start today by hitting the subscribe button below. New episodes are posted every Friday. Criminal Law 2 is a very long subject, kapatid. The most important piece of advice I can give you now is that there is a very strong probability that your class will not finish the course. Maraming professor ang pilit na tinatapos ang Criminal Law 2 at madalas ang resulta ay napakababaw naman ng appreciation natin sa crim. This approach is logical, hindi naman nga lahat ng krimen sa bansa ay itinatanong sa bar. My recommendation is for you to go beyond what is asked in the syllabus. Make a timeline where you will realistically finish all of the required reading materials before the semester ends. It does not matter if your professor will say hanggang dito lang tayo sa finals. Huwag kang magpapaniwala doon kapatid dahil pagdurusahan mo rin yan pagdating ng fourth year mo. At huwag ka ring magpapaniwala sa sarili mo na sa bakasyon mo natatapusin at babasahin yan. Marami na ang nangako niyan kapatid at hindi rin nila tinupad. Huwag kami bes, ine-Netflix mo lang ang summer vacation mo. Kaya huwag kami bes, huwag kami. That being said, Criminal Law 2 is a study of all the crimes in the Philippines. The primary reference is the revised penal code. It's a very thick book and you have no obligation to memorize each and every one of the crimes listed there. The truth is even practitioners have to refer back to the codal provisions from time to time. You will also be required to be competent in the crimes listed under special laws like the Comprehensive Dangerous Drugs Act, the Anti-Violence Against Women and Children Act of 2004, the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act, and the Anti-Plunder Act. The last two you will also encounter again under the law on public officers, kaya aralin mo ng maigi. The Dangerous Drugs Act also deserves a special mention because a lot of the questions you'll be asked now and in the future will be about possession, possession with intent to sell, and use with possession. You will also need to be very familiar with the anti-fencing law and the cattle rustling law. At the end of the semester, you should be able to combine the things you learned from Criminal Law 1 and Criminal Law 2. You are expected to know whether the following combinations of actions amount to a crime. Ang typical na tanong sa crim law ay determination of criminal liability. What crime, if any, was committed by X and Y? What are their penalties? The crimes under the revised penal code are divided into chapters. The first group are those crimes committed against the nation. the national security, and the crimes committed against the fundamental law of the state. Kasama na rin dito ang crimes against public order, public interest, and public morals. In this set, you'll also have to learn the crimes committed by public officers, including those punished under special laws. The second set of crimes in the revised penal code are those crimes against persons, crimes against personal liberty and security, and crimes against property and chastity. Crimes against honor and criminal negligence are also topics you'll most likely see again in constitutional law, torts and damages, and to a certain extent, remedial law. The last two, second year onwards mo na yan, kapatid. The second set of crimes is very, very important because it forms the bulk of the questions you'll have to answer during your fourth year. As I've mentioned before, you have no obligation to memorize the entire RPC. Pero kung nagawa mo yan, lodi ka nang maituturing ng iyong henerasyon. All that is required is that you have the familiarity na kung susumahin natin yung nagawa ni X ay crime ba yan, sir? Kung crime, saan nasusulat? Ang life hack dito, kapatid, ay magme-memorize ka ng mga citations ng importanteng crimes. Halimbawa, theft is the taking of property with intent to gain. It's found under Article 308 of the RPC, kung qualified 310. If the facts of the question give you a story similar to date rape, then the correct answer is rape. But if you cite your basis, Article 266-A, Paragraph 1, Letter B, ay biglang ganda ng sagot mo, bes. Kung tama rin ang nasulat mo after the citation, there's really no reason why your professor will not give you full credit. Fair warning, kapatid, kung mali ang citation, may deduction. Use this life hack accordingly. Now let's take a minute to address the recommended textbooks. When I was taking up Criminal Law 1 and 2 over 10 years ago, our professors required the use of the books of Justice Reyes. It covers everything. The discussion is simple, logical, and he has that gift of showing you how to separate the important topics and the nice to know pero baka hindi naman din lalabas yan concepts. The book now has been taken over by someone else and it's not as good as it used to be. The book of Judge Campanilla is not recommended if you're a freshman in law school. His discussion requires that you have finished Criminal Law 1 and 2. Hindi ka kasi makaka-relate until and unless natapos mo na yung unang dalawang subject. When he discusses a concept, it somehow triggers a recollection no matter how vague on what topic he's discussing. The book is not perfect. It is marred with typographical errors. I know some law students who are triggered when they find errors in the books we all have to read. I feel you, kapatid, but then again, when books are submitted for publishing, real talk lang. Sinong malakas ang loob na mag-e-edit ng mga gawa ng mga authors natin? Sino din ang magpuproofread sa gawa nila? But when it comes to penalties, 5 stars ang book ni Judge Campanilla. Honorable mentions, Boado and Amorao as supplements, but not as the main reference. Again, my advice for you is to wait for your professor's recommendations. Kung sinabi niya sa first meeting na walang required book at choose your own book, raise your hand, kapatid, and ask your professor what he or she used as a law student. This way, at least pareho kayo ng framework. Criminal Law 2 relies heavily on jurisprudence. When you study this course, maraming cases, just as in Criminal Law 1. You will be expected to somehow narrate the case. Who committed which acts and against whom? What crimes were committed and how were they subsequently proven? My advice, syempre, is to find the time. Do whatever it takes to read the cases in the full text version. Do not rely on digests, because their appreciation might not necessarily reflect your understanding. Even better, start making your own digests. I've discussed case digests in a previous episode and I'll have a link to that below. If you are not yet enrolled in law school and you want to see what law school feels like, I suggest you start with the case of the people of the Philippines versus Francisco Juan Larranaga. The case of Paco has been hyped as a criticism of our criminal justice system. Again, the way we determine criminal liability is based on rules. rules that we have in place. Until and unless the system changes, then the hands of the courts and our judges are held in place. It's very easy to read someone else's version of the story and adopt it as our own. But as you will later learn in the subject evidence, the truth within the court is not always the truth, but the truth as they are proven by the parties in the case. The truth is always that version that can be proven within the rules of court. I'll have a link to that case in the description below. When you study Criminal Law 2, you will be asked to integrate your knowledge of Criminal Law 1 into the equation. From time to time, you'll be asked about conspiracy and when it becomes a means of committing a crime versus conspiracy as a mode of incurring criminal liability. Go back to Article 8 of the Revised Penal Code. As I've mentioned in the previous episode, you'll need to master complex crimes, and this is where it is needed. Crimes are classified as simple crimes, compound crimes, complex crimes, and special complex crimes. The simple crime of murder under Article 248 is committed if X laces pancit with arsenic and serves it to his friend. The friend dies of the poison. Compound crimes are those that stem from a singular act that results in several crimes. Kung yung pansit na may arsenic ay kinain ng buong barkada, compound crime na yan. Complex crimes are those that involve two crimes, but the law punishes them as a single crime. This is found under Article 48 of the Revised Penal Code. Halimbawa, si A ay may reputation bilang estafador, and in the process of scamming B, he commits estafa under Article 315A and falsification of commercial documents. This is a complex crime. The penalty for the more serious crime is imposed in its maximum period. Special complex crimes are those found under Book 2 of the Revised Penal Code. They have special penalties attached to them, and they are special because of some express provision of the law. Special complex crimes consist of two crimes, and they have some direct, intimate, and immediate relationship with each other. The original intention of the accused becomes the principal crime. Kung may apat na hold-upper na sumakay ng FX or UV Express at nag-declare sila ng hold-up malapit sa Vito Cruz, their crime at this point is robbery. If one of the passengers refuses to surrender her cell phone and as a result sinaksak siya at namatay, then the crime is the special complex crime of robbery with homicide. Ang pagkakasaksak kay ate at ang kanyang pagkamatay ay hindi lang simpleng homicide. In this case, the homicide is committed by reason of or on the occasion of robbery. The technique here is asking the following questions. Number 1, is it a special complex crime? Kung hindi, move on to number 2. If there is no special complex crime, is it a complex crime now under Article 48? If the answer is again no, if it is not a complex crime, is the doctrine of absorption applicable? Then, if the doctrine of absorption is also not applicable, that is the only time we call them as two separate crimes. The doctrine of absorption simply means that the principal crime absorbs the secondary crime. The reason is that the secondary crime is a necessary means to commit the principal crime. Halimbawa, si Sarcy ay ni-rape ni Tino, Vino at Georgie. Pero bago siya ni-rape ay sinakay muna siya sa van. Ginulpe, itinali at nagtamo siya ng maraming pasa, galos at sugat bago ang rape. Tino, Vino, and Georgie committed the crime of forcible abduction when they dragged Sarcy inside a van. They also committed the crime of less serious physical injuries when they punched her, slapped her. However, both crimes are necessary to commit the rape. Therefore, these two secondary crimes form part of the rape by the principle of absorption. When it comes to answering questions in criminal law, to always bear in mind that the tiniest variation, for example, in the time of day or if the crime happened at night, often changes the nature of the crime. The smallest difference in the facts can drastically change the nature of the crime. Halimbawa, under Article 247, you will later learn that if any legally married person surprises his spouse in the act of committing sexual intercourse with another person and shall kill any of them or both of them or shall inflict serious physical injuries, shall only suffer the penalty of desterro. Desterro is a penalty similar to expulsion na hindi na siyang pwedeng pumunta sa barangay kung saan niya napatay ang misis niya at ang kanyang kalantari. This rule is a favorite problem. Marami ang variations dahil na rin siguro sa kalikutan ng isip ng mga professor. First variation, the wife surprises the husband in their bedroom pero hinahalikan lang ni mister ang kasambahay nila. Parehong binaril ni misis. Liable or not liable? Second variation, the wife surprises the husband in their bedroom pero nakapatong si mister sa kanilang makisig at macho na driver. Pareho na namang binaril ni misis. Liable or not liable? Third variation, the wife surprises the husband in their bedroom. Si mister na walang kadala-dala ay nakapatong ulit, this time sa best friend ni misis, pero very obvious sa facts na sa puwet nakashoot. Pareho na naman silang binaril ni misis. Liable or not liable? Fourth variation, the wife surprises the husband in their bedroom. Si mister ay muling nakapatong sa best friend ni misis, pareho na namang binaril ni misis. Batay sa autopsy, hindi pala yung asawa niya yon. Yun pala ay kakambal ng mister niya. Liable or not liable? Another variation, the wife alone one night with the internet. She browses a porn site at unang-una pa sa feed niya ay verified amateur pa daw ang account ng mister niya. She plays the video and the next 7 to 12 minutes shows her husband engaging in sexual intercourse with a woman dressed in a maid's uniform, who later she confirms to be their helper. Again, she picks up her gun, runs downstairs, fires 2 bullets and kills the helper. Liable or not liable? Marami pang dapat matutunan at aralin sa criminal law too, and I'd like to see your answers in the comments below. Kung wala kang sagot, then help the community by sharing some of the questions you've encountered for the course. Salamat kapatid kung inabot mo ang ending ng episode na to. Thank you so much for watching. Like and share this video for good law school karma and I will see you next Friday.